Anything wrong?
Perfect. Sensational. Once more, please.
Right you are. Roger.
Get a slate.
Well, that's one way to make a living. Paul Mantz's way, flying for the movies. Here's a stunt flyer who not only flies his ships, but supplies them. As I was saying, he has just about every kind of plane in the world. You're going to see a few of them now, lined up in Paul's backyard. And they pretty well represent the span of flight in our time. A lot of these jobs have great associations with some of the pioneers of aviation. Curtiss, de Havilland, the Wrights, Langley, Douglas. Mance started collecting these planes 25 years ago, the way some people collect stamps or antiques. And he's used them in dozens of flight films, pictures like Captain Eddie and 12 O'Clock High. This airborne horseless carriage is a Curtiss pusher plane. It's a venerable antique, but it can fly through the air with the greatest of ease, always provided you can get the thing started. The first plane to fly the United States mail more than 25 years ago, a de Havilland. Here's another old-timer, a passenger-carrying Jenny, and the passengers got lots of fresh air. And another, more streamlined letter carrier, a U.S. Eastern transport. Mance has been flying since the early 1920s. And in this P-51 Mustang, which placards a list of his exploits, he won the Bendix Trophy for 3 years in succession. Paul and his pilots have rescued shipwreck survivors, saved lives in a nationwide flying ambulance service, and flown spare parts to broken down ships, along with picking up a few American dollars, as you can see. In the 1930s, Paul Mantz was technical advisor to his good friend Amelia Earhart, the great aviatrix. During World War II, he served as lieutenant colonel with the United States Air Force. In this B-25, he flew around the world. The map you see there pinpoints all the spots on the globe at which he touched. And here is Paul's seagoing helicopter. Hey, Bill, haven't you got that started yet?
Plenty of gas.
Must be something else, then. Paul's wearing that German uniform because he's going to play the part of Manfred von Richthofen in a reenactment of a dogfight between an Allied flyer and a German plane. This ship is a Spad, sister plane to the one flown by Captain Eddie Rickenbacker when he was the great American ace of 36 years ago. The German plane is one of the original fighters from Richthofen's Flying Circus, which again and again was pitched in mortal combat against the Lafayette Escadrille. Neither of these ships is a reproduction. Both are actual combat planes of the First World War. Need some help, fellas? Another mechanic, maybe? Or another plane? Here we go into the wild blue yonder of 1917. This is the way it was in the days of the Dawn Patrol. You tried to get your enemy into your sights. You dodged, you weaved, you struggled to get him off your tail. The primitive maneuvering, slow, deliberate, almost as stately as a court dance by modern standards, was punctuated by staccato bursts of machine gun bullets. The German and the Spad, gallant battle planes of a bygone era, as obsolete today as the fighting galleys of ancient Rome. The boys who flew these flimsy contraptions, held together by spit and good luck, played for keeps all right, but the combat techniques they used were closer to the tournaments of Prince Valiant's time. Now Mance has got the Spad in his sights. He's pouring it on. That was close. The Spad slipped out of the way. Now it's the American's turn, and the German's the target. Now he's getting the lead slung at him. How much of this can he take? If he doesn't get that crate out of the way... Hey, Paul, look out! He's hit. Triumphant American salutes a fallen foe. Say, this is serious. What about Paul? How could he get out of this alive? How? Huh? Well, it's only in the movies that you can destroy your plane, kill yourself, and then when it's all over, pick up your marbles and go home. The same kind of preparation went into winning this Bendix trophy 3 times running that Mance puts into all his movie stunts. He's been flying through hangars and crashing planes for years, and he's still alive and in one piece. Paul is not a daredevil. He doesn't take chances with his life. Every stunt that he undertakes is figured out in advance, planned on paper, and discussed in every minute detail. Not a scratch on him. He's hardly even shaken. When he crashes a plane, he crashes it with mathematical certainty. Nothing left to chance. Well, in 1910, the pace was slower and people had more time. What's going on here? That crazy kid has no business taking a plane off the ground. He hasn't enough flying time to... That did it.
Holy smoke!
Student flyer Jones is in serious trouble.
Let's go.
Paul and his mechanic know this boy can't land a ship on 2 wheels, let alone 1.
Contact.
Our student's plane is about 2/3 out of control. I want to see how Mance handles this one. Here's a problem he couldn't figure out on paper first. I suppose we ought to be thankful this boy is still in the air. He won't be for long, the way he's going. What we need at this point is a good stiff dose of aeronautical know-how. And here comes Paul. Only the most skillful pilot could keep this crippled plane on an even keel, and Student Jones is not a skillful pilot. Hey, your wheel is off. Paul's using sign language. Desperate situations demand desperate remedies, and this boy's plight is desperate. Paul is going to undertake one of the most difficult and perilous feats that can be performed in the air. What you are about to see is in no way a trick or a fake scene. It is the documentary film record of an actual transfer from one plane to another. Hazards crowd him on every side. He must compensate for the treacherous air currents, upsurges, downdrafts that could whirl him out into space in a second. If he comes down on the plane's tail, he could be fatally entangled. And one miscalculation will trap him in the deadliest threat of all, the whirling propeller, the steel whiplash that can cut a man to pieces in an instant. He made it. He's got this crazy crate by the tail. However, his troubles aren't over yet. He still has to make a landing on one wheel, but now there's a flyer at the controls. And these boys caught the whole thing. We'll have the story in a minute. If he's going to make it, or if... He's down! What a landing! The plane and the life have been saved. Now Paul's going to show us some stunts, and you're coming along. That was a snap roll. An inside loop. In case you've ever wondered what it felt like to be a falling leaf, this ought to satisfy your curiosity. Now, a slow roll. Flying upside down. Now you're under the plane, facing the tail. I don't know about you, but this is going to hold me for quite some time. What about that? Tom Swift and his pal have gotten their giant flying machine started. The marvel of 1910 is moving. It thunders down the field with all the majesty of a McCormick Reaper. Takeoff speed 35 miles an hour. Here we go. Or do we? Come on, you're not really trying. Watch out for those barrels. Don't hit that plane. This guy must have originated hedge hopping. Let's not give up now, you're doing fine. Careful! Careful! Now you've done it. What a relief. I guess you can't keep a good plane down. I told you she'd fly, didn't I? Here we are, smooth sailing at last. Plenty of altitude and everything. kind of pretty at that, isn't it? Gliding through the air like a big box kite. Don't hit those trees. All right, I'm sorry. It's hard to believe that only a trifle more than 4 decades, 40 years, separate this prehistoric little number from the superjet of today, sweeping you on far faster than the speed of sound. Years from the fragile little Curtiss pusher riding the air currents like a blown leaf to the jet plane of today and the supersonic age of flight that still stretches before us.